Morning and welcome back to Granted Gardens. It's been a little while since the last time that we spoke, and if you saw our last video that we posted, I'm sure you can imagine why. I wanted to make sure that I got a video out at least once or twice this summer so that I could share our garden, which was really the core purpose for this YouTube channel. A lot of things have changed, more update on that later, but the garden is absolutely booming and it's beautiful, and I just had to share it with you guys. First off, let's start with the chickens. We have 2 new additions. So we're up to 5 chickens now. I see one. There's one of them. We got 2 silkies from our friend Michelle that we've added to our flock, and they're absolutely beautiful, and we're so thrilled to have them. I think the other one's in providing us with an egg for breakfast, so we didn't get her. But they have been great additions. They got along with all of our girls right off the bat. I mean, the first moments when we introduced them, there was like a little bit of, hey, just to let you know I'm the boss here. But after that, they fit right in and they get the program now. We did introduce slowly over a period of about 7 days. So I tried to follow the rules and things went really well. So I'm happy about that. It's nice to have a couple more eggs every single day too, because we were just down to 3 hens and we were getting very sporadic eggs. So win there. Here is the garden. It is massive. Everything is doing so wonderfully. I just can't believe it. It's definitely our healthiest garden year. So one quick update, which has a lot to do with why I think the garden is doing so well. I quit my job this year, and I've had, I've been able, we'll put it that way, to stay on schedule more with tending to the garden. I don't want to say I have more time on my hands because that would be a lie, and you'll hear why. But I've been able to stay on a schedule of tending to the garden. Now, some things that we do use regularly, as in I do it once a week, I do neem oil, and then I also do diatomaceous earth. So you might see some white stuff like kind of sprinkled on some of the leaves as we go through the garden. That is diatomaceous earth. It helps, they both help to reduce like pest problems. They're both organic methods, and I never really dove into using them regularly because I would wait until the problem arose and then I would try to address it with either diatomaceous earth or neem oil. And this year I decided to just start right out of the gate using them. So once our plants all got established, I got on a weekly routine of using those 2 things, and I really think that that also can be a lot of credit for why the garden is doing so great this year. This is always my favorite view. I get to see my chickens while we're out here. Okay, we're gonna start here with this first garden bed. This is all of my tomatoes. I have multiple varieties of tomatoes in here. These are cherry tomatoes. Got some more like vine tomatoes in the back. My goal here was to just see how successful we could be with completely jam-packing this bed full of tomatoes, and it is doing fairly well. Now, something else that I did a little bit differently this year is I actively tried to incorporate more flowers and more variety in each bed. Now, obviously this bed is mostly tomatoes, okay? And I might have gotten a little brave by packing them in here, but I did make sure I incorporated as many flowers as possible as well. Now, I do also heavily prune my tomatoes. As you can notice, I've done that every single year, and it really helps to improve the airflow and ensures that my plants stay healthier longer. Over here, along this first arch, We've got cucumbers, which once again, I told myself we have so many canned pickles that we've canned over the years that I don't really need a ton of cucumbers this year. I stuck with solely slicers. I did not grow any pickling cucumbers, at least not purposefully, and just kind of let them go and see what would happen. Well, of course, they're doing magnificent. So we have a ton of cucumbers. I'm not complaining. I love it. So beautiful. I mean, knock on wood, hardly a yellow leaf in the bunch. Next here, I did a little bit of lemon thyme at the top there just for accent. And then down here is our zucchini plant. Look at this mammoth of a zucchini plant. We haven't picked from them yet, but I have high hopes on, there's a couple of them in there that might be done this week. But just look at the size of these leaves. Beautiful. Along this side of the arch, I have my noodle beans that are growing. We haven't got any production out of them yet, but they're definitely still reaching the top, trying to reach the top of our arch. And then here is another tomato bed. Again, I actively attempted to add in a variety of other plants with our tomatoes. Look at this size. Like, these are just beautiful. Look at that. Look at them coming along wonderfully. I've got multiple sets back there, as you can see. I mean, tomato heaven, right? And then I've got some flowers again. So my marigolds, my nasturtium, and amaranth here, which is just beautiful. And I'm really excited to see her in her full glory. I love doing nasturtium because I like to turn it into pesto, nasturtium pesto. You can eat the leaves right off of here. You can eat the flowers. Everything's edible. But it's got a little bit of a horseradish taste to it, so it's nice in pestos. We have more noodle beans that are coming along. Nothing picked yet, but they're growing up. And then on this side of this arch, we have more cucumbers, which have been doing awesome. I've been picking from this guy regularly. The heat, I think, is starting to get to him a little bit, but he's done well for us. So if that happens, I have no qualms about it. Here is Tyler's bed. He did some peppers. He recently planted some pumpkin seeds because we didn't have any pumpkins. I really wanted pumpkins this year. Dill. And then this is my most exciting addition this year to the garden. Man, how the video just does not do it justice. Disappointing, but it's okay because I'm here for it. Many years I have spent trying to perfect this arch that goes from the raised bed to the in-ground garden because it's just more of a staple. Like, you physically have to walk through it daily. So I always really dreamt of having just fully loaded arch with all of these things hanging off of it and, you know, just beauty and abundance. And I just have never quite nailed it, especially on this arch. So I usually throw like my melons on this arch. I think we tried to do like loofahs on the arch once. Either way, I mean, we had success, but it wasn't quite as full or abundant as I'd wanted it to be. So this year I threw all caution to the wind. I started a variety of different random gourds and melons of stuff that I just had kind of laying in the back of my seed collection that I'd never grown, wasn't really high on my priority list. I just started a bunch of different ones and decided I was just gonna fill this arch with whatever germinated and see what happens. And we're actually getting success out of this. I'm excited. So the thing is that I don't exactly know what all I have growing here, which I know is frustrating to some, but it will be a surprise to us once we start picking it. The first thing that your eyes really go to are these guys. We've got quite a few of them coming along on here. Absolutely beautiful. This one's heavy. Might have to tie him up a little bit. So that's one kind of something going on. And again, I just love how it fills out the arch and like just gives character to it. Now this is a completely different leaf, so this will be a different type of plant. I know that there is some delatable melons, I believe is how to pronounce them here. This to me looks a lot like a loofah. I did try labeling stuff, but some of the labels disappeared. Let me see. So this one says Thai long, extra long sponge gourds. That might be what this is. Like I said, I think that there's delatable. I believe that's what these ones are. And let's see if I can read this. Tenation squash is what that one says. So it'll be fun to see what this turns out like, but it is beautiful and I'm super excited about it. And again, you can see diatomaceous earth on some of the leaves, but the leaves are just massive. Flowers are beautiful. Busy bees hard at work. All right, then here is the in-ground garden. Believe it or not, this was entirely weeded out at the beginning of the summer. The grass grew in and the grass is really hard to pull out. So I haven't been tending to that. Maybe we'll do something different next year. But back here we've got potatoes. I also put some beets on top of that. So I'm hoping that I get to pick the beets before the potatoes come. Along the back here, these were labeled as cucumbers. Obviously they are not cucumbers. So those will be surprise plants because I mislabeled them. I actually have an okra this year. I do have 2 okras, but this one is the only one that looks like it's doing anything. Some beans, sunflowers. I've got Swiss chard here. This is my peppers that I've got going, which we actually have peppers already, which is just mind-blowing because usually this time of year I do not have peppers yet. And again, I sprinkled, sunflowers, different flowers in to try and create variety and reduce pest control or pest problems. It's really hard to see, but that right there is my other okra that I started. Oh, where are you? Lost you. That I started from seed. And he's very tiny and he's not doing anything. I always joke that I never have any success with growing okra. I've grown it many, many years over and over faithfully every year and I never get anything. So the larger okra here I actually bought from my friend Michelle's farm stand, and she was joking with me, oh, do you need an okra that'll grow? Like, here, take this one. And it has not gotten any bigger since I put it in the ground. So it's me, it's not the okra. I just don't know why I can't get it right, but maybe one day. So we're gonna do a quick walk here to the other side of the yard. These are our grapevines. Again, they are covered in diatomaceous earth because I'm trying to save them. We usually have a big Japanese beetle problem with these, which there is some pressure here, you can see. Even on the leaves that have been regularly treated, there are Japanese beetles on here. But everybody seems to be doing okay. I mean, for the most part, this plant looks healthy, right? Now, over here you can see some of the areas like where it grew through my butterfly bush, which I don't treat my butterfly bush because I want my pollinators and my bugs on that bush. But you can see where it grew through, and there is your Japanese beetles, and here's what they do. So it's interesting that the one branch that didn't get treated is obviously experiencing so much pressure from these bugs, but the rest of the grapes that have been regularly treated with diatomaceous earth and neem don't seem to be struggling quite as much. So I just wonder if there is something to that. Another bug that you're gonna see here is these spotted lantern flies. We have a ton of them. They're everywhere. We're learning to live with it, I guess. I'm not sure. Hopefully they don't turn out too much damage once they get bigger. But there's not much we can do. Next, I want to get a nice highlight of my herb bed. What you see here is an overgrown herb bed. This herb bed has done fantastic this year. From the get-go, everything was just thriving, including this tree that we added probably about 5 years ago. I was told that this was a dogwood when we got it. We got it at a festival, and it's not a dogwood. At least it's not the kind of dogwood I thought it was. And it is just multiplying. I mean, all of these super, super tall things here are trees. And I've tried for years to fight them off. But this year I just couldn't. They are also heading well into the yard. So I want to get a nice shot of this herb bed, show you guys just how awesome it is doing, what it looks like when it is full, because I believe it's coming out and we're going to try and get rid of that tree. Yeah, so this is what it looks like. Sage, oregano, marjoram, thyme over here, lemon balm. I mean, everybody, mint is doing just great. Everything's doing wonderful. It's beautiful, except for it's getting taken over. For every beautiful garden, there is always this. This was supposed to be my strawberry patch. Things went terribly wrong. And that's what that is now. It is just a weed bed. But hey, can't win them all. And then over here, I actively tried to have a flower bed, which I didn't do too bad this year. But it's not exactly what I wanted it to be. There's potatoes in there as well that decided to come up. I did get my one sunflower, so I'm happy about that. Some snapdragons. You know, it's pretty and I can pick from it, so I'm happy. Over here was supposed to be more sunflowers. Obviously they died. I do have some amaranth there that's doing well. Here, quick little peek, one of our cherry bushes. And we have some cherries coming, which I'm really excited about. I tried one the other day and it was very bitter, so they're not ready yet, but excited that we have that. And then over here are raspberries, which, believe it or not, I was out here yesterday and picked everything that I could find. And look, we're just fully loaded again. I mean, overnight, literally overnight, we have more raspberries. I'm not complaining. It's a wonderful problem to have. Okay, so now for a little bit of a personal update on where we have been. Obviously, with my last video, we shared our pregnancy announcement. Since then, our little boy, Weston, was born on December 26th, just 20 minutes after Christmas, and happy and healthy. Everyone did great. Everyone was very happy, very healthy afterwards. The last 6 months have been just an experience of coming together as a family with Tyler, myself, and Weston, and learning. You know, all of us are new at this. Obviously, Weston very new at it. Tyler and I both being parents for the first time, and it's been wonderful. And so I've been, you know, actively trying to get Weston outside a lot. I mean, obviously that's something that Tyler and I love, is being outside. So since day one, which was December 26th. I was jumping at every opportunity to get that poor baby outside, and luckily he loves the outdoors, so we did good, whatever that was. But I also, with that, decided to leave my corporate job, so I am now a full-time stay-at-home mom, which was just a whole whirlwind in itself. A blessing, an absolute blessing. Wouldn't have changed a thing. Thankful every single day that was even an option, and our family is just extremely blessed. I mean, I'm so grateful for where we are. It's magnificent. It really is. And to see the garden thriving in all of this as well, I just don't think that it's a mistake. Like, I don't think that it's coincidence. So I wanted to make sure that we were able to show you guys kind of what we've got going on here and a quick little update. So as always, thank you all so much for watching. I don't know where we are as far as sharing more with you guys. I don't know how soon that'll happen. I would like to get a few more videos out, at least of the garden this year, when things are really coming in. I just have a feeling that with the heat of the summer, it's not going to look this green for long. So I wanted to get you guys in the garden before things change too much. But as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and we look forward to sharing more with you maybe soon. Bye.